the order, 6:01. Okay, if you would, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this great day you bless us with. Lord, we thank you so much for our friends and our family. We thank you for our community. And Lord, we just pray that you be with the Elliott family tonight and this week as they lost a family member. Lord, just pray that you be with all of them and be with us here tonight. Help us make the best decisions to best benefit our community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Melinda Vandervoort.
Here.
Laura Wagner.
Here.
Mayor John Krasuski.
Yes.
Bucky Stevenson.
Here.
And Marie Anderson.
Here.
All present.
And I do recognize both of the guests. Glad to see you. Glad that you come to the meetings. It's good to see you. Okay, we've got new business. Bill 343, Resolution 220906, a resolution allowing lease between City of Mountain View and Mountain View Golf Course. You have that in front of you, I believe. Hey, would you explain that first, please?
Yes. So the city is reaching out, trying to obtain a liquor license for the golf course. In order to do that, they have to possess some sort of ownership of the land, the business. So the actual deed that I was able to track down just says City of Mountain View. So this will basically just put the name on it as the Mountain View Golf Course so that we can proceed. That is the final step to obtaining the liquor license. Nothing's changing, just need to have a piece of paper with that name.
Okay, being a resolution,
One reading.
do we need a motion to afterwards, or?
No, you'll just read it, everybody will vote.
Okay. All right, bill number 343, resolution 22-0906. A resolution authorizing an agreement by and between the City of Mountain View, Missouri and Mountain View Golf Course. Whereas the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri desires to enter into a lease agreement with the Mountain View Golf Course, and whereas the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri deems it wise and necessary to pass this resolution authorizing this lease agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri does authorize a lease agreement by and between the City of Mountain View and Mountain View Golf Course in a form substantially similar to the copy attached to this resolution, and authorizes the mayor to execute the lease agreement on behalf of the City of Mountain View. Section 2, that this resolution shall be in full force and effect after its passage and approval.
Make a motion to accept
Motion by Murray,
Bill 433, resolution number 22-09-06.
second by Laura.
Any go too fast?
Any
Okay.
further discussion? Roll call vote.
Aye.
Laura.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have nomination approval of planning and zoning committee members. According to our bylaws, I guess I nominate people and the board approves them to put on the planning and zoning committee. Of the only two applicants I think I received, but fantastic ones at that. It just keeps getting better. We've been doing great at the city. I have no complaints. The two members that are interested in helping out and being on the Planning and Zoning Commission, which both have vast experience in areas we could use on the board, would be Stephen Sills and Linda Lewis. You guys have any approval or objection or discussion?
I'll be there also as the council
Yes.
member showing up for, so.
Linda Lewis was there, but asked, well, everybody knows what she did in the
History
city.
knowledge.
Yes, and she's business, everything, advertising, she knows everything. And this Steven Sills character is a really good guy. And he's been in the trades for many years. And in fact, he's even a certified inspector, I believe, in California
And here.
and Missouri. So he'll be really, his building knowledge will be really, really handy in it. So I would look for a motion to approve both. Do we have to approve them both, probably separately?
No, I think you can do them both.
You should be able to.
Okay, for it? Okay.
Because it's one item.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on either member? Nominee? Okay, Linda?
Aye.
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 Congratulations, still. Time to discuss trick-or-treating times.
Ally's on Monday this year, isn't it?
Yes.
We do.
I recommend we do it on Monday, because that way they can go and see the businesses beforehand. And I think that down here between Ian Conley and up around the corner and then down towards Foster's, they've got something planned out too.
I feel like there's no school.
There's no school that day.
Okay,
There's no
yeah, I
school
thought I,
there. Yep.
Oh.
And I figure the trunk or treat will go on the Sunday before. churches.
So we need to do that on December the 25th, right?
What's that?
We need to do trick or treat on December
yeah.
25th. You asked me, we thought same paper.
So this,
So you just decide on a date and then make a
the
motion.
schools will probably do it on Friday night, Friday during this day, then they'll have their parties.
Yep.
So there'll be nothing all weekend and then Monday night, since there's no school Monday. Yeah, I know according to the police who were not here tonight, they recommended 8 to 5. They didn't specify a day.
5 to 8.
Oh,
Yes.
it's Halloween, it's okay.
It's okay.
They'll figure it out. Yeah. But yes, 5 to 8, I stand corrected. So I don't see a problem with that.
So October 3rd, Monday night?
31st,
Whoops, that's September.
October
There we go.
31st. There we go.
We're gonna screw this up.
That'll also give them time if they need to have anything else for that event or whatnot too, so.
Well, it'll have the businesses open too, because the kids like to go around all
Yep.
those too, so.
Okay, October 31st, 5 to 8?
Do we need, we should have a motion now.
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So basically, you're gonna post it wherever and if you let
We've
it
had
be
a lot of
known that
calls the last week asking.
the
People are
trick or
trying to
treating
prepare.
will be October 31st from 5 to 8, Monday night.
Yep.
We'll hit the business, be able to hit the businesses and residents. Okay, the next one is an ordinance. And I believe, if you can explain it, I believe it's just an ordinance that they require us to renew every 2 years.
Yes, it is required, it's a state statute. It is required every 2 years. We're not making any changes, most cities don't. It's just a matter of reading through it. It is lengthy. The second time, when you can just read the header the second time, so you don't have to read the whole thing twice.
I've done some research in that fact, now that you brought it up. And it is preferred, you can do however you want, boards, but it's preferred to do it at 2 different meetings, just so you know. But when you need to get it done.
This one has to be
you can't
posted
do
by
it
the
in
15th.
one meeting. So, yeah, no problem. No problem, no. Okay. Ordinance number 1720, bill number 1348. An ordinance of the City of Mount View, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials. Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Mount View, Missouri as follows. Section 1, Declaration of Policy. The proper operation of municipal government requires that public officials and employees be independent, impartial, and responsible to the people, that government decisions and policies be made in the proper channels of the governmental structure, that public office not be used for personal gain, and that the public have confidence in the integrity of its government. In recognition of these goals, there is hereby established a procedure for disclosure by certain officials and employees of private financial or other interests in matters affecting the city. Section 2, conflicts of interest. The mayor or any member of the city council who has a substantial personal or private interest as defined by state law in any bill shall disclose on the records of the city, on the records of the city council, there's an error there, the nature of his interest and shall disqualify himself from voting on any matters relating to this interest. Section 3, disclosure reports. Each elected official, the chief administrative officer, the chief purchasing officer, and the general counsel, if employed full-time, shall disclose the following information by May 1st if any such transaction were engaged in during the previous calendar year. A, for such person and all personas within the first degree of consanguinity, something like that, consanguinity of affinity of such person, in other words, a relation to, the date and the identities of the parties to each transaction with a total value in excess of $500, if any, that such person had with the political subdivision, other than compensation received as an employee or payment of any tax, TAX maybe? It says TAC, but I think it's tax, fee or penalty due to the political subdivision, and other than transfers for no consideration to the political subdivision, and B, the date and the identities of the parties to each transaction known to the person with a total value in excess of $500, if any, that any business entity in which such person had a substantial interest had with the political subdivision other than payment of any tax, fee, or penalty due to the political subdivision or transactions involving payment for the providing utility service to the political subdivision, and other than transfers for no consideration to the political subdivision. That's a mouthful. C, the chief administrative officer and the chief purchasing officer also shall disclose by May 1st for the previous calendar year the following information. 1, the name and address of each of the employers of such person from who income of $1,000 or more was received during the year covered by the statement. 2, the name and address of each sole proprietorship that he owned, the name, address, and the general nature of the business conducted of each general partnership and joint venture in which he was a partner or participant, the name and address of each partner or co-participant for each partnership or joint venture with the Secretary of State, the name, address, and general nature of the business conducted of and closely held corporation or limited partnerships in which the person owned 10% or more of any class of the outstanding stock or limited partnership units, and the name of any publicly traded corporation or limited partnership that is listed on a regulated stock exchange or automated quotation system in which the person owned 2% or more of any class of outstanding stock, limited partnership units, or other equity interests. 3, the name and address of each corporation for which such person served on the capacity of a director, officer, or receiver. I'm sure that doesn't sound real straight English, but it's legal jargon, basically. Section 4, filing of reports. The reports in the attached format shall be filed with the city clerk and with the Secretary of State prior to January 1st, 1993, and thereafter with the Ethics Commission. The report shall be available for public inspection and copying during normal business hour. Section 5, when filed. The financial interest statements shall be filed at the following times, but no person is required to file more than one financial interest statement in any calendar year. A, each person appointed to to office shall, it should be a shall, file the statement within 30 days of such appointment or employment. B, every other person required to file a financial interest statement shall file the statement annually not later than May 1st, and a statement shall cover the calendar year ending immediately preceding December 31st. Provided that any member of the City Council may supplement the financial interest statement to report additional interest acquired after December 31st of the covered year until the date of filing of the financial interest statement. Section 6, filing of ordinance. If this ordinance is adopted prior to January 1st, 1993, then the city clerk shall send a certified copy of this ordinance to the Missouri Ethics Commission within 10 days of its adoption. But this is being renewed every 2 years, and we're well past 1993. Last I checked. Section 7, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after the date of its passage and approval, and shall remain in effect until amended or repealed by the City Council. That's the first reading. So any discussion on that? Besides the legal jargon, there's a couple of typographical errors somehow in there.
It's been passed down
It's been,
years and years and years.
it could use a little going
Yep,
over
I
just
will
to
have her look at it.
be a little bit easier to read and making out what the words should say coming up. But yeah, I'm sure it's in a court of law, it makes a lot more sense, but it's basically saying that anything to do with any of us having any powers in the city to make financial decisions have to disclose any relationship with anyone that we're doing business with, if we have any interest in or relationship to, according to all those rules. Any further discussion on it? We see it says first reading and then passed, so we should pass the first reading. I'll look for a motion to pass that.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Laura,
I'll second.
second by Punky. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any of the numbers? You want the numbers?
1720, 1348.
Yep.
And the second reading, the ordinance of the City of Mountain View, ordinance number 1720, bill number 1348. An ordinance of the City of Mountain View, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials. Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri as follows. Section 1 was declaration of policy. Section 2 is conflicts of interest. Section 3 is disclosure reports. Section 4 is the filing of reports. And Section 5 is when it's filed. Section 6 is filing of the ordinance. Section 7 was the effective date. Do I hear a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we accept ordinance 1720, bill number 1348.
Any discussion further?
I'll second that motion.
Oops. Very good. Now, any discussion further?
Aye.
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 Okay, we have, moving on to old business that we have done, but I'm sure we have a little bit of, the FYI of the member appreciation dinner. This is for all you guys to go to. Yeah, don't forget that, September 11th at 4 p.m.
Who do we tell on that, Carla?
What?
Who do we RSVP back to?
Carla, yeah.
I do want to let you guys know, I have an entity in the city. that's willing to help us out with a park. They're wanting and hoping that they jump on board with our Phase 1 and Phase 2 project at the swimming pool, and that is, they'd like to pitch in for, what's that thing called?
Splash pad?
Pardon?
The splash pad?
Pickleball.
Pickleball.
Oh,
Pickleball courts. They'd like to see 4 pickleball courts, and in dealing with them, I told them that I thought, I wanted to get you guys' opinion on it, since 2 tennis courts aren't enough to do tournaments very well yet with the schools, and we're trying to put in 4 to 6, depending on what the school tells us, and depending on if we can get a grant to actually have enough tennis courts to have tournaments with other schools, instead of always going to other schools. We could do it here again. We could start a Phase 1 on that project, and that would be to renovate, which badly needs it anyway, the existing tennis courts, to where we would actually end up with a brand new 1 tennis court for now, and 4 pickleball courts, all in the same area as the 2 tennis courts are now, all brand new and paid for. They're hoping we can pitch in, but we don't have a cost yet. I'm getting estimates on it, and what it would take, because we're looking for grants to do the whole entire area east of the pool after we get the pool done and all that. But that's going to take several years to get anything done. With this entity wanting to pitch in money-wise, quite a substantial amount, I might add, we should be able to get it in very quickly if you're all on board and think it's a good idea that we jump on and at least get something going there to where we have an active, brand-new tennis court and 4 pickleball courts. And a pickleball courts, the only difference between that and a tennis court is the paint lines and the nets. So if some people think pickleball is a fad that might go away in a few years, if it does, you still have a tennis court. All you do is repaint the lines to the court, you didn't lose a thing. We're not investing any additional money that way. And it's hardly any investment on us. I mean, we would be helping with taking down the fence and putting up the fence and just doing things around it and all that. Yep. That's what I'm volunteering, what the city can do. I want to get we had to bring it to you before we officially do anything, but I wanted to get your feelings on it.
Traffic would be the big one. I know with that big plan and stuff they were talking about as part of that future grant was parking spaces and stuff on the east side of that area. So that might be something to make sure we've got enough of, because that's a very tight area. You got the senior citizen across the street. The pool has a big enough area as long as it's not doing the swimming thing, time period once, but that'd be the only thing I would look at. But I think that it'd be a better use, because right now the courts aren't being used, but maybe 1%, maybe 5%. And that might get some usage as far as for that. So,
Are you suggesting parking area coming in off the dead-end street to the east
well,
side?
that's what was on with the original thing for that grant. That was part of what it was.
Okay.
Was coming up in front of, the dead end, because it'll never tie into 60, but
Right.
that would give, and they were looking at doing angled, which goes to the park to bring people away from the residents that are there on that east side.
That was good.
Yeah, and that's, because that's also where the entrances are to those courts, and we're looking at maybe putting some other entrances in for the fencing and whatever, so. But yeah, I'm all for is getting more people to use the amenities that have been within, but that's my only concern. We got to make sure that we're not impeding on the citizens that are over there. I know some parks in my yard, it wouldn't be a happy time, so.
And from what I understand, I've never played the game. In fact, they're playing it tonight at the youth center from 5 to 8, I think. I'd like to go over and look at it, see what they're doing, see what it is. What I'm told, once I got on the internet, it seems like it covers all age groups, can handle it, and it's fun. And they're already having tournaments from, I know West Plains is here playing tonight, between cities and all that stuff. It's pretty,
It's growing fast too, so.
so that is pretty neat. You don't have to be 100% athlete, but it gets you out, gets you moving, gets you doing
Remember
something.
Foursquare when we were kids?
Yeah.
There you go, that's about like what it is.
That was probably the only thing you play with.
That's it. If somebody's wanting to invest in the city and do it, I say go for it, let them invest in it.
Yeah, well, it's
Who
gonna,
knows?
I'm guessing $30,000-$40,000, somewhere around there is what we need to really put that together. And it'd be just a low, really a low budget phase one to get something going in that area for us, because we want to develop that entire area by the pool anyway.
Now, would it have lights and stuff around it so they could do that?
It already does, and hopefully it'll be sufficient. If not, I would volunteer the city to do the
That
lighting.
would give our kids somewhere else, something else to do over the weekend other than being out.
Yep. Cool.
Is that gonna have any effect on the school with their tennis program, or?
I
And I
did
know
not
they
check, I
practice
didn't go
down
that
there, I
far
don't know how
because
often we actually
I didn't
have.
want to go to them and say, I didn't even talk to council about it yet. I'm gonna get you guys first.
Is there some way we can incorporate a space in there also? And they possibly do it even on the tennis courts in there if it's lighted. But cornhole was getting to be. a
Oh,
big
yeah.
thing. And the kids of it, I know my son was involved with it for a while. They have nowhere here in the city to really play that. If we could
I like that.
incorporate that somewhere in there, that they have a space that they could set up their cornhole boards, that would be great too.
Yeah. You can even have your younger ones playing that while
Yeah,
you
I
do
like that
pickleball or
idea.
vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah, because that'd be a low budget part of phase one too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Expand it into something. Because we might not even get to phase two in the next year or two. We might not, we don't know.
And as long as they got a lighted place, they could do that very easily. It wouldn't take
Flat
any-
surface.
Yep, flat surface, lighted.
I like that. Good.
That would be my only concern, is I would want to
Yep,
impact.
and I'm gonna check with them. I haven't, like I said, until I check with you guys, but we'll check with them and see what, I was gonna, because I need to talk to them anyway about what is the correct number. Growing up, I always was told you need at least 6 courts to have a decent tournament between schools. Whether that was because of the size of the schools or not, I don't know. I know when my daughters were playing tennis here on the school team, we'd be here till midnight all the time, just because on 2 courts, you're just slowly working your way through. I mean, it was crazy. You need several, I don't know if it's 4 or 6, but hopefully not 12. But this way, in phase 2, we can incorporate the correct number, and still have room for everything else.
West Plains has 6.
Has
Yeah,
6.
they've got quite a few.
I was trying to, I know where it's at, just trying to picture it.
Well, I personally don't know of a school with just 2 ever in my life. So, a junior high maybe, I remember one junior high, middle school, and that was it.
Our school doesn't have any.
Everybody starts at, yeah, but everybody starts at 4 or 6. Goes up from there.
I think the largest I've seen is Rogersville, and they've got 8.
8.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see what they recommend and what they would like to see, find out, and then put that
As
in
it expanded,
phase
what would
2.
you do for restrooms?
Yeah, the other thing is, right now for the summers, we can easily have the restrooms available at the pool because Eddie can turn them on and whatnot and have that workable. But for the winter, they're gonna have to do without. I mean, it's just not feasible to have it heated at this time or anything. Part of phase 2, if we can't include it in the pool budget grant that we're working on right now, is redoing the locker rooms at least. I don't mean to put in a $250,000 locker room. That would be a whole new story. But just renovate them, make them better, make them more privatized for update kids to use them. Yeah, bring it up to date to today's standards. And at that time, we would be able to do something with the bathrooms, make it more accessible for really everybody that'll be using the
The park at the top of the hill.
that side of the park. Just the part over at the swings and that has their own bathroom. But that's too far for the little unattended little kids and the seniors to go all the way from the
Yeah,
pickleball
we got
court.
the one across the
There
street,
might be a
baseball.
baseball field, or something for a while too.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So there's a couple of more options for bathrooms too. You've got the one at the park on the other side of the pool, and then the baseball field too. But those are both small.
We're considering that we're gonna be bringing in more younger and older people, so we don't really want to have to.
Right, but I'm saying for right now till,
Yep, well, and with the porta potty idea,
yeah,
we're good right there.
it's, you ever been to a construction site?
Oh, we can keep it cleaner than that.
Yeah, but if you bring them in,
We don't have a pump truck.
but if you bring them in just for tournaments,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah, do a
bring in
7-day
two,
or something.
Yeah.
and then they get cleaned before every tournament. It works. That's what we did for baseball, so.
There you go, company.
Yeah.
And then I did talk to you, I think I mentioned before that I was approached that, maybe I didn't, the school would be interested in taking over the baseball field. We did talk about that, because they would put in new lights, new bleachers, new bathrooms, et cetera. But so far, they were taking it to the board, and I haven't heard back from it yet. That's as far as I got.
Maybe as doing.
Because we
some
want
kind
to
of
do it for lease.
Yes, but
Yeah,
not as.
and he took that back to the board, and I haven't heard back with her.
I'm definitely not interested in signing anything over, but leasing.
Yeah. And see how many year lease they would require before they put that kind of money into
Yeah.
it.
No city property should be leaving the city. It's part of the citizens, and that's where I've stood all along, and you will see that, and it's got basis in legality. So if the city in some time gets dissolved, there's a whole process that actually goes through. So,
I don't know if you were done with yours, but I had something, I had a gentleman from Ellington approach me. He's run an asphalt business for the last probably 20 years. And we was talking about our city streets and stuff. And he gave me a good faith effort that if we needed someone to come over and do some on-site training, or even look over our equipment, see what we had, see if it was usable, or if we needed training on it, he said he would be glad to come over and look and see what we had and look at any of that stuff and help us out.
Be appreciated, but the real thing we need is an actual paving unit, an actual paver. And one we had caught fire many years ago and should have been thrown to the scrapyard back then. It wasn't worth anything, period. So we do not have any equipment that
Okay.
can handle.
I didn't
asphalt.
know, but he was.
All we have is a roller and
cold mix,
Yeah, and
mostly cold
campers
mix
and roller. We really don't have, we have a
blade.
on the Bobcat, we can, what do you call it, shaving the concrete, the asphalt, what do you call that? I forgot what it is to cut it down. We have that, but we really don't have asphalt laying equipment. We
And
don't
he
have
said
it.
also that if the senior citizens, I don't know if they were still deciding on what to do with their money, but he said if they was interested, he would be gladly, or be receptive to putting in a bid on that for us, so.
I suggest they do it very quickly because they are working on that, deciding that right now as we speak. And they may not get it done this year, they may wait till spring, but they already have funding in place. So they are ready. So
I didn't know if it was gonna burn down their other money or what they was gonna do.
no, they are, but they do have new money for that, just for that. And they would like another bid, any bid, say we got bids, so I'd get at it, get his name to him. And then also, when he comes out to look at that, if he would contact Eddie, our operations manager,
Yeah.
and go over what we should have and could have to do our own asphalting on all of our side streets, et cetera.
Okay.
I'm not worried about Highway 17, but it would be interesting to see, because with the economy the way it's going, I've got a feeling that used equipment's gonna be coming up pretty good pricing, low prices. And the city might want to invest in that and do a lot of that ourselves, and maybe get a lot of these streets done over the next 3, 5, 4 years, but we need to know what we need.
He would gladly do that, but
That would be
anyway,
great. I'll buy him lunch when he's here.
well, he's a good guy, he's got a good reputation, but he was gonna do my driveway and shot me an unbelievable price on the driveway. So that was probably about 3 months ago, that I'm sure stuff was went out, but.
Oh, yeah, the oil, yeah. But everything's supposedly gonna come down in that field, so it'll help a little bit.
I'll call it, Shannon sent you a text of his business card, so.
Yeah, I definitely want to meet with him. Comes time, we'll go over everything, that'd be great. Take every edge we can get. Anything else anybody's got?
I just have two things. The CBCO is doing a blood drive Friday, September 9th, 12:30 to 5:30 at the Mountain View Community Center. I think this is their Fabulous blood drive, so depending on how many they have, you get like 2 free tickets, I think, to the Dickerson Park Zoo in Springfield, and like a specialized T-shirt, the whole while supplies last thing. And then the garden club is having their fall plant sale Saturday, September 10th, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. That's at Wood Park. Those gals always have lots of really neat things.
What time was that? 9?
9 to noon.
Isn't there some kind of a golf tournament coming up on the 30th of October? Am I correct
On
with that?
Sunday,
Well, that's the 30th, yes.
yes. There's a lot of things that they would really like to get participation from you guys. They're gonna have a chili cook-off, and the glow in the dark tournament. The last one they did went very, very well. A lot of feedback. I was in a local business the next day, and there were people talking about how much fun they had and wish they would do it all the time. It was nice to hear positive feedback about the golf course and people having fun in the community. So there's a costume contest. They're gonna hope to have people's involvement to be hidden and costumed, and so we're looking forward to it, so.
I'm gonna lay out there in the bottom of like.
You gonna have like a
I'm
ghillie
waiting-
suit
I'm-
on?
And I'm gonna wait for Punky to come by just to see if I can get some conversation.
Can I film that for TikTok?
But yeah, there was something else too that was about that time period, not the golf course, but something else within the city.
The chili cook-off, if you enter it, it would be donated for everybody to eat for free once that's done that night.
Pioneer Days.
Pioneer Days is the 24th
Oh,
and
yeah.
25th.
Pioneer Days, and Pioneer Days has things going on the Friday, the
Hammond
day
and
before.
Hammond Beach.
Yeah, as well as some other things from what I was told too. It's not the average. I guess they're going to curtail to also little ones too with hot dogs and some other food items other than just the ham and bean. But there's several things going on the morning of, that's what I heard, but
I honestly
I'd really like to see a little bit more as far as for that. I know what Community Betterment is the ones doing the ham and bean supper, but so that'll be another time too. If you think about it, that'll close off and we'll have diverted traffic around that area too.
Is there any involvement as far as us as city council in any of this stuff?
As far as, not that we really have to be, but I mean,
Well,
you can
I
go through the
mean-
parade.
I forgot who they said was serving.
I think he's volunteering for.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for serving,
that wants to
they
volunteer?
usually, they usually show up as far as for serving.
What'd you volunteer me for? Yeah, I'll throw baseballs if you're gonna be up there.
We're meeting on the 14th on that one, so we'll know a little bit more then
Pioneer Days,
Yeah.
the last meeting.
for the Friday.
For the ham and beans.
I just know in the past I've had city council.
It'd be nice to get you on a dunk tank.
I'd probably do it for some good cause.
Yeah.
I might not like it the next morning, but anyway, I knew there was a couple times we had involvement with the city council throughout the years, but I didn't know, so.
Yeah. We'll keep everybody informed. We got a meeting, our next one's the 20th, that's our regular meeting.
And then the Pioneer Days is what?
24th?
The 25th.
25th, yeah.
25th is a Saturday.
It's Friday and Saturday, I guess.
Who does a lot of the events here in town as far as getting? Van Buren's got something really neat going on. I wish we could do it. We'd probably have to incorporate the football field, but I've been thinking about it the last few days. But they've got a well-known singer coming in at the river, and they're gonna block all that off. And they're having a great big huge blowout I think it's the 1st of October or whatever. But I was thinking about that too. I thought, well, why couldn't we do something like that? Maybe at the football field, we have the seating and all that stuff there. If we could get somebody on board with trying to get,
Mountain View used to.
yeah.
There were lots of country music.
Yeah, we had Blake Sheldon, Craig Morgan come.
Either need to be Chamber or Betterment, Community
Yeah.
Betterment, one of them would be able to
Well,
organize.
that would be where we would go with, yes, and then they would work hand in hand with us, but it'd have to be one of those two organizations.
And the school says that we have use of the football field, it is public domain, so.
I know you've probably seen the deal with Van Buren and stuff, but it's amazing what that little bitty town does sometimes. And I wish we could get,
No reason why we couldn't.
Nope. We can do it.
Especially since we've got some really nice facilities now. This place
And
is-
I'm sure we've got just as many connections to that area too.
Remind us somebody.
There you go.
Any more word on microphones?
At this point, no.
Okay.
So,
Just, would a battery powered one just work for now as far as for helping with your video?
in that respect, it's going to be a little bit more costly than what I.
Than the
yeah.
powered ones? Okay.
Well, typically you have to have a receiver for that, and
Yeah.
that's what makes it so expensive.
I almost forgot that we have gotten a preliminary engineering report for the water system improvements, which we had awarded to Todd.
Okay.
And they do have them and really their engineer and Larry Cattell put it all together. They did a real good job. I'm impressed. They come in just under the $3 million mark, which is what we're shooting for. And it looks really good. I think we stand a really good chance of getting it, so real positive. And it'll be a welcome fix to our water system in this town. So we do have the preliminary report, so that goes into that ARPA grant thing, within the deadline.
How are they doing on the electric thing as far as the easement and all that?
Everything's moving.
In process.
I got the easement in hand this morning, and it was taken to Mr. Woolsey to review today.
Good. In process.
I did that first thing this morning.
Right now, we've got really good progress everywhere. Got everybody working everywhere. We've got everything going. It's really looking very promising right now.
I heard some good stuff out of our golf course, out of the area the other day.
So I can't wait until the 11th and get the meeting with Ty and see what all his ideas are, everything. I think we're really in for a surprise.
Looks like senior center is still moving forward with all the stuff that they were progressing, and the numbers are still up there as far as for the people that they are servicing. And I think that they've got another fish fry or something coming up in a week and a half. Not this Friday, but next. Or did it get pushed?
I think it got pushed, I think.
Okay.
So thanks to Mark Collins and the, I'm not sure what you call that commission board he's on there, but they.
County
they're the
commissioners.
ones- The commission, yeah, the county commissions, commissionary board,
County Commission.
county commission. They have already gave funds to the senior center for the parking lot and for the extra thing, awnings on the front of it. We're talking over $50,000, so it's really gonna help out. We got a big plus there, big jump for the senior center. It's just getting better and better.
How did the meeting go that you and John attended over at West Plains?
John did a wonderful job. I didn't have to say a word, it was great. But no, that was the first meeting that the ODC board has had in 3 years or 4 years. And they're restarting up everything that they used to do, so quarterly we should go and have more of those type of meetings, and hopefully they're looking at bringing more in different type of businesses and stuff back into our community. So they were also mentioning the same thing, and that's a good thing that the county has started moving monies up. That's the first time the city's received monies of that thing in years. So at least we're starting to see some more stuff coming this way. Good. So,
Yeah, we were well received.
yes.
Anything further for the good of the order? Anyone in the audience, anything? But again, congratulations on your board approval, so look forward to hearing you come up with good things on the planning and zoning board. A lot of good input there. And we have a motion for adjournment.
We'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
I got volleyball to go to.
Favor?
Aye.
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 Take a look at those pictures on the